Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we're going to give you a brief explanation about exams in BlackBoard. More specifically, we're going to talk about different types of exam questions that are available to us in BlackBoard. So I'm going to start briefly with a quick PowerPoint presentation. Exams in BlackBoard, or as it's called inside the software as tests, have four steps. The first step is creating the test. The second step is building the exam questions. The third is deploying the test or publishing the test. And the fourth is how to deal with the grade center functionality. First, when we create the test, we should first know or decide on what exactly the objective of our test is, a formative or a summative assessment. For deploying tests, we should consider the duration of the test, the settings that we should include, as well as announcing the test for our students beforehand. And in the grading center, we're going to talk in the future about the grading and different reports we can export from the grading center. However, for this video, we're going to focus on the second step, which is building the exam questions. We're going to talk about the different types of exam questions, the question options for each type, as well as examples on each question type. So let's go now to BlackBoard. So we can access the BlackBoard in the courses. We choose a specific course that we want to work on. Basically, you need to add the test or the exam on the content area on the left side. So it's better to create a specific folder for that. So let's create one right now. Content area. We'll call it assessment. We don't want to be available for users just yet. And we need to submit. We're going to find it at the end of the course content. Click on it. And then we are inside the assessment folder. The tests usually, as we mentioned in previous videos, for building the content, we'll choose building content. For tools, we want that for discussion board and the such. For assessment and tests, we should choose the assessment drop down. So we'll include a test. It will take us to the test selector. If we have previous tests, we can choose them from here. However, now we want to create a new test. So let's give it a name. Let's give it mock test 2. In the description, you should mention some description about the type of the test itself. So we can mention example, something like this. Then the instructions, you can give specific instructions that you want to give to your students. Very important to mention if the exam will finish an auto-submit or not. At the end of the allocated time, auto-submit. Okay. Then we'll click on submit. This is the exam canvas, and from here we can create exam questions. However, before that, we can go to the question setting on the right side, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the settings that we need to be aware of. So, if the exam is a formative assessment, you can provide feedback to your individual answer for your students. Otherwise, you should leave this unchecked. Then, if you want, you have some specific items that you can mention. So, for example, what is the average point that you want to give for each question? So let's leave it at 10 for the time being. If you want to allow special the partial credit for some of the answers, specify negative points. I suggest I would recommend having this unchecked because it's not fair for the students to get negative points for answering wrongly. And provide options to assign questions as extra credit. You can leave this checked. Then we can, in the display for each question setting, we can specify random ordering of the answers, specify if you want horizontal or vertical, or specify number of options. We can leave this checked, and then we click on submit. And then we are ready to start adding our questions. So we have around 17 questions types in Blackboard. I'll start with the most common type of exam question, which is a multiple choice. It is not the multiple answer, it is the multiple choice. I'm going to explain in the next video what is the difference between the two. So in multiple choice, we'll choose it. We give it a name. You can mention the question, the exact question or the stem. It should be a question, WH word, starting with WH word and ending with a question mark. Okay, so what's the disadvantage of fluoride? Okay, and then you can choose what is the answering scheme. This is what is used in the school. You want the answer vertical or horizontal, does not matter. Allow partial credit. Here we don't want partial credit. Show answer in random order. Yes, that's what we need. Then you can choose the different distractors or different options for the number of answers or options we want 4. This is the school policy. The first one can be the correct answer. Okay. The correct answer should be checked with this radio button. Second option. Third. And the last one. For now, we don't want feedback. For categories and keywords, I recommend having this done for each question. However, you can skip it if you don't want. However, you can have this. It will have some advantages later. So let's add a category. So for example, this is unit 1 in the category, the topic. And you can mention what is the level of difficulty. And click OK. And then we'll submit. And this is our exam question. You can see this is the exam. This is the stem of the question. And these are the 4 options that we have. And the correct answer is marked with a green tick mark. So let's go to OK. Then we'll choose the mock test 2 and click on submit. It will retake us again to the exam settings. We're not going to go through this now. So let's click on submit. And we click on the mock test 2 so we can see what the exam looks like. This is what the exam will look like for the students when they land on it. You're going to see some of the instructions, and then we can click on begin, and the description and instructions, the ones that we did, are mentioned here, or the ones that we included, and then the points for the exam item is mentioned on the right side, and then this is what the exam appeared for the student. You can see that the answers has been shuffled because we have chosen to have random answers. So if you click on, for example, toxicity and click save and submit, you can see that this item is saved, and then we click on save and submit. In the next video, I'm going to mention more types of questions. Thank you.